Greetings, AMCers. Welcome to Script-To-Screen. My name's John Campia. This weekend, the new film Buried, starring Ryan Reynolds, opens in AMC theaters. And right now, I am thrilled to be joined by the film's director, Mr. Rodrigo Cortés. And Rodrigo, the very first thing I've got to ask you is, as you look at what this film is about, I can't imagine, as a filmmaker, figuring out a way to make a movie entirely revolving around one man in a box, visually interesting, compelling, and telling a story. What was it about this story, Buried, that made you think, yes, I can tell this story on film and tell it well?
Well, first, there are many ways of doing this script or shooting it. There are many possibilities, and one of them is cutting out to the surface, showing all the characters, or maybe including even some flashbacks or whatever. But I saw the possibility of doing something impossible. I saw an impossible film to do, and that's what actually attracted me, the possibility of doing something that was foolish enough to attract my attention. So I felt that I needed to do that because it was literally never done.
Well, Rodrigo, in talking about telling an impossible story, whenever you have a film that has very, very few characters, it makes the importance of the performance that those characters bring even more important than in regular films. When thinking about this movie, what was it about Ryan Reynolds that made you sit back and go, yes, this is the guy, this is the actor that can help me tell this story and tell it well?
First, because you want to transcend the gimmick. I mean, that you have to go beyond it to tell the most compelling and engaging story. You don't want to make a small experimental film good for museums, but Indiana Jones in a box. You don't even want to do Lifeboat in a box, but North by Northwest in a box. So you need to bring an entire universe inside the box. So you need the better actor. And Ryan, when I saw The Nines 2 years ago, I discovered an endlessly sensitive actor able to develop the most committed and deep emotions with very small and real things. He never acts. He always is. He's so organic. You cannot catch him lying. And he has a perfect sense of timing. He's like a musician. You intend to do a movie with 3-4 elements, you better have a high control of nuance. And pace has a lot to do with that, rhythm. He's a Stradivarius. He can do literally whatever. He can break your heart while he autolights himself. And if you add 2 new instructions, he simply looks at you and tells you, okay. So he's a killing machine.
Well, I'll tell you, Rodrigo, when I came out of the film, first of all, I really enjoyed it. And when I came out of it, I was talking to a friend of mine about it, and they asked me, what are some of the things that I loved about it? And one of the things that I said, surprisingly enough, was I loved the cinematography, which sounds really odd when talking about a movie that all takes place inside of a box. But I was amazed by the different ways that you use the camera and the lighting and the visuals to tell this story and keep it so engaging. How did you come up with all these incredible ways to shoot a movie inside of a box?
Well, there were certain rules. The first one was never leave the box. Never, ever leave the box. Why? Because I wanted this to be a physical experience, not a film to be seen, but a film to be experienced. Not only with your eyes, but also with your bones, with your flesh, with your muscles, with your skin, with everything. You should leave the theater 4 pounds lighter. And in order to get that, you need everything to be totally believable, physical, and touchable. And you have to start with the lighting. I mean that in a regular film, when you have darkness, you have this kind of fake darkness when you assume that you are seeing things that the main role character is not able to see. Right. But here, we have to experience exactly what he's experiencing. So you have darkness, you have pitch black. And if you have light, it has to be practical. So you see, you perceive that it's totally real, that you cannot see anything that the lighting source shows. So you have to be very truthful in that sense. So everybody feels they can touch the film. And at the beginning you can think, okay, if I choose randomly a picture from minute 8 and another one from minute 22, probably they are going to be more or less the same because we have a guy in a box. How many different angles can you make? And I wanted the movie from the very first moment, and that was another rule, to reinvent itself every 8 to 10 minutes. So if you choose a picture from minute 20, another one from minute 72, and another one for minute 3, they are completely different because the story evolves, the character evolves, and with the character, the lighting evolves, and the narrative and style also evolves. There are no limits. Everything that can happen in a high-tension thriller happens here, even in technical terms. If you need to use a crane or a 360 dolly shot around the actor or handheld camera, things that, of course, are impossible in Shadowbox, instead of renouncing to them, you find out to make them possible. So we designed and built 7 different coffins with 7 different names and for 7 different needs. So everything was possible. One of them had collapsible walls we could take out and place in, so we could do even circles around the box, taking out and placing the walls again while the lens described the circle, or another one especially reinforced so Ryan could push with all his strength, which is a lot, I can tell you. So he didn't need to pretend, but you could feel the weight of tons of sand, or another one especially long, but the same width, so we could do even dolly shots inside the coffin. I didn't want to limit myself at all. I wanted to feel totally free, so I decided not to use common sense, not to use logic. If you do that, you're going to find out very soon that it's impossible, and I wanted to find it out when it was too late. Now I know it is impossible, but now the movie is done, so it's too late.
Well, Rodrigo, thank you so much for taking time to talk with us. Buried really is an incredible viewing experience, such a unique film, and such an incredible accomplishment. Congratulations. We really look forward to seeing it on AMC screens.